everybody, and welcome to another video. Today we will be talking about enums. So what are enums? Enum is short for enumerated type. So simply put, it is a sort of object that we use in Java which only has a finite set of values. So examples here are colors, days of the week, or seasons. And in this example we'll use status, as in a status of a user of a chat program of some sorts. So down here you can see I have created another class called status. Important to notice here is that we use the keyword enum instead of class or interface. When you declare an enum, after the curly braces you list all valid values, all valid types for that enum, separated with a comma, and initially there is no semicolon required at the end. Now when we go to the main method here, you can see that I've used status.online. This is because behind the scenes enums mainly have static members. This means that you call the value of the status enum also as if it is a static member. All enum values will be initialized by the JVM only once, so each reference of this enum value will be the same. That means that if we instantiate the enum like so, and if we check if the status instance here is equal to the status online enum, it will be actually true because both references point to the same object. You can see all enum values using the values method, which also is a static method of the status enum. And each enum value inside the values array has a name. And they also have a ordinal, which is the position within the enum. So if you go ahead and print these, you will see all values inside the enum and also the position starting with 0. And here we go. Online is 0, busy is 1, away is 2, offline is 3. In the order we defined them over here. So the values method here returns an array. You can also use functional programming, as we saw in our last video, to iterate through this array and use a lambda to print each value inside the enum. You can retrieve the enum from string using the value of method. Important here is that you capitalize the string, same as the value that is listed in the enum. Lowercase or just the first letter capitalized will not work in this case. Enums can be used in switch statements. You should note here that only the value of the enum is actually used. So to use the enum inside a switch statement, you only define the value here, because the status part is already implicit. So if we would define status.busy, it would not compile. It would actually behind the scenes be something like status.status, which does not work. So only the values are required. Enums can also contain constructors, fields, and methods. So let's go ahead and create another enum down here. We will just copy these values over. And let's say we also want to add a numeric value to each status enum. We will set this status int through the constructor. You can already see that the compiler is complaining about this part now. That's because every enum value needs to be initialized with the proper int. So we will say online is 0, busy is 1, etc, etc. You can make these values whatever you like. You can also change them to a string and give them alternative names, whatever. And important here is now that you close the list of enum values with a semicolon. Once you add a constructor, it is required. So now we have an example of a enum containing a field and a constructor, and let's go through the method. Now, calling the method has quite a confusing syntax, but it is done like this. Now, if you go ahead and run this main method, which has gotten quite long, you can see in the end it prints the print statement that we put down here. User is currently online. There's one more thing I should show you here, and that is the usage of abstract methods. So let's go ahead and create one. So here we've created a method called getColor, and what we want here is for each enum to return a color which would correspond to their status. So let's say online would be green, busy and away would be red, and offline would be gray. Now, how do we implement this abstract method per enum value? It is done by opening up a code block after each enum value and there implementing the abstract method. So I'll just copy and paste this over to each enum value. So here we see that each enum value implements their own version of the getColor method. You can also see that we duplicated some code here by having the busy and away enum both return red. Instead of having one abstract method and then having every enum value implement their own method, you could also have one default method. So we will remove the abstract keyword here and then make it implement return red. And then override the enum values with the color we want them to return. So we can get rid of this. And in this case, busy and away will use the default method getColor and return red. And online and offline will override the getColor method and return their own color. So now let's implement these methods in the main method and show you that it works. So here we will print the green color of the online status. And here we will print the red color for the busy status. As you can see, it printed the correct colors. So there you go, guys. I hope this video gave you some more in-depth knowledge about enums and helps prepare you for your OCP exam. If you have any questions, you can check out the code. It's in the GitHub repo linked in the description. And if you have any questions, please let me know. Alright, see you in the next video. Bye.